That looks so good. I never actually got to look at it.
That looks so good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Which was
Good evening. My name is Mary Heath, and I am this year's president of the National Honor Society. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you here tonight to the NHS induction of the class of 2018. We are here tonight to recognize the accomplishments of this year's inductees. Before we get started, I would just like to thank some people on stage for supporting the National Honor Society and for being here tonight. The members of the Board of Education, Dr. Henning Piedmont, Ms. Gosh, Mr. Stack, and Mrs. Fuller. Thank you for your committed support of our organization and of the Brewster community as a whole. The application process for NHS is rigorous, and therefore a lot is expected of its members throughout senior year. The members of the class of 2017 who sit behind me have gone above and beyond the expectations presented to them in the beginning of the year. Our main goal was to increase membership participation and involvement within the local community, and especially within the Brewster High School. In our first fundraiser, the Loose Change Drive for Putnam Cap, we surpassed last year's donation 3 times over, raising $600 from collecting spare nickels and dimes around the school. The money was donated to fund Thanksgiving dinners for local families in need. We also started a new fundraiser this year for the American Heart Association, where we raised $471 during their Rare Red Week. We continued our support of the blood drive this March, with members donating as well as volunteering at the clinic. And as part of an effort to increase involvement within the high school, we have 4 different tutoring initiatives this year. Standard one-on-one tutoring, tutoring for GED students, tutoring help desk in the library, and in-class tutoring where members could assist teachers in class when students were working on essays, science labs, or group projects. The seniors have been fantastic role models, leaders, and members of the community. I have no doubt they will continue to be so far beyond the walls of BHS. I want to thank them for all the effort they've put in this year to ensure we leave a lasting impact. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with them and the other officers in the pursuit of bettering our community. Although we are proud of the accomplishments of the class of 2017, tonight we honor the newest members of NHS. In order to be accepted into the National Honor Society, students must demonstrate its 5 key qualities: character, leadership, service, scholarship, and knowledge. These qualities are represented by the 5 candles you see here. This year's inductees are unparalleled in their commitment and passion to benefit the community. As they've shown in their applications, they are the best the Brewster High School has to offer and are the perfect embodiment of each aspect of NHS. In honor of their success, I will now light the candle of knowledge. I would now like to invite our treasurer, Brendan Fian, to the podium to speak about the next pillar of NHS. Congratulations, inductees, and good luck.
According to Webster, character is defined as the aggregate of features and traits that form the individual nature of some person or thing. Being here tonight sets the standard, or continues the standard for your character. While being inducted into the National Honor Society is an award for your character to this point, it is also an opportunity for you to continue setting standards, loftier goals, and continuing on the road to success. Our character gives us a sense of right and wrong, an understanding that right is right even when everyone is against it, and that wrong is wrong even if everyone is for it. and the fortitude to choose and do what is right. A person of character does not take polls to determine the right course of action. Our character is shown by how we think and what we do when nobody else is around. Tonight, I hope you make a commitment to yourself to make your actions and habits fulfill a life and legacy of excellence. I hope you take your induction into the National Honor Society as a challenge to be a greater student, role model, and person. In honor of character, I will now light the candle. And now our Secretary, Cassidy Gross.
The dictionary offers many definitions of the word leadership, but none of them explains what leadership actually means. They say things like the capacity to lead or the office or position of a leader. But when we look at leadership from a different perspective, when we ask what exactly makes someone a so-called leader, we can understand the word's true meaning. In writing this short speech, I came across a lot of information about what qualities people think combine to make the most effective leader or leadership style. Some were quite similar, and several included qualities that I'd never think to include, but those that were repeated over and over again were, I believe, worth repeating to you here tonight. Confidence, commitment, communication, emotional strength, effective delegation, determination, accessibility, responsibility, resilience, integrity, humility, and empathy. In order for people to follow where you lead, they must first trust that you'll lead them in the right direction. So, you must be the example. Know what your motives are and act upon them. Leadership is a gift. It's given by those who follow, but you have to be worthy of it. Be ready for the responsibility. Be ready for people to look up to you. If you're not, rededicate yourself to the effort. Try your leadership skills here in this school setting where you're given plenty of opportunities. If you fail, learn and move on. Try again. That's what this environment is for. Your induction into the National Honor Society is an honor. It means that someone sees in you the qualities that personify leadership. May you all live up to that honor. I will now light the candle of leadership. And now, our publicist, Dan Moran.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the ceremony thus far. I stand before you tonight as a scholar, and scholarship, according to the internet, is defined as an academic study or achievement or learning of a high level. But that does not even graze the surface of what it means to be a scholar. Seated in front of me tonight, or around you all, are scholars. These are the students who have excelled in every facet of their educational experience thus far. And I don't just mean to say that they've earned a cumulative GPA of at least 90 to gain entry to this organization. These are the students who went above and beyond to achieve goals of their own. These are the students who helped their peers reach for similar goals. These are the students who committed their time to charity and to service organization. These are the students who have not only done those already impressive things, they are the students who have found balance in those things aforementioned. And that, to me, is the definitive sign of a scholar. Scholarship is not a trait. It is an ability disguised as one. And like any ability, it must be trained. These are the students who put in the hard work to train it. To recognize this, I will now light the candle of scholarship. I will now introduce our secretary, Alex Johnson.
With service, our world becomes a better place. Without service, that's a world I'd rather not live in. Service promotes kindness and a sense of connectedness among the community. To do service is to put others before yourself and to give without gain. Regardless of age, everyone can do some form of service. As students, there are countless opportunities to take action and get involved. National Honor Society is known for its dedication to service and helping the community. As inductees, you have all shown this trait of service. You dedicate your time to your community and know when to lend a helping hand. Continue to hone this trait of service and invest your time in the community as members of the National Honor Society. Gandhi, a believer of peace and service, once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." In honor of service, I will now light the candle of service. Sorry, Coach. Now I would like to introduce our principal, Mrs. Horler.
Recently, I found inspiration from Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers. The book profiles 75 exceptional individuals, the best in their field. He studied such outliers and found that being smart or talented did not necessarily translate to success. In fact, he found at least 2 shared characteristics that set the best apart from the bunch. One is that they amassed the equivalent of 10,000 hours of practice before reaching the pinnacle of their careers. In other words, Kobe Bryant didn't just stroll into a court to dominate it, and Yo-Yo Ma certainly did more than half-heartedly pluck at his cello in between marathon sessions and binge-watching Netflix. They spent hours, days, and weeks, and years working unbelievably hard to achieve greatness, harder than the others who became merely good. The fact that you are here today with us is proof that you have worked diligently and made the most of the opportunities afforded to you by your parents, your school, and your community. For that, I congratulate you. So I urge you to take this further, to continue to embrace opportunities. Find a cause, a light, a fire. Be relentless. Be inspired to set the bar higher until you're doing the impossible just because you refuse to tire. The world needs creators, educators, innovators, and you are tomorrow's game changers. So don't let the doubts of others limit you. Don't give in to your fears, and don't have your fears give the power to inhibit you rather than find the thing you're passionate about, the thing you cannot do without, the thing you can't not do, and just do it. Don't just make a living, make a difference. Give back to your community. Enrich each life in your vicinity. Leave your indelible mark on history by creating it. And then at the end of every day, I hope you'll close your eyes and say, not only did I do it well, I did some good. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ms. Rasick, the advisor of NHS. Good evening and welcome. I would like to offer a very special welcome and thank you to the following people joining us on stage tonight. Dr. Valerie Henning-Piedmont, Superintendent of Schools. Ms. Michelle Dash, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. Members of the Board of Education. Mrs. Nicole Horler, Principal of Brewster High School. Mr. Stack, our Assistant Principal. My colleague, Mr. Peter Gumas. And our honorary inductees, Mrs. Melanie Castles. Mr. John Ciavera. Mrs. Donald Laval, Miss Anne-Marie McLeod, and Mr. Patrick Moriarty. Welcome to all of you, and many thanks for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here tonight. Juniors, congratulations. Tonight, you are officially beginning your journey with National Honor Society. NHS is a nationally recognized service organization. Our goal is to serve our Brewster High School community as well as Brewster itself. As soon as AP exams finish, we will hold our first meeting. At that point, we'll discuss upcoming volunteer opportunities, and you'll begin the process of selecting your executive officers. It's time for you to begin assuming the roles that our current seniors have served so well. I look forward to working with you and to seeing all of your achievements as NHS members. To the senior members of NHS, congratulations and many thanks for all of your wonderful contributions. You have been a pleasure to work with, and so many in our community have benefited because of you. You have diligently and generously served as role models for others by providing tutoring and by assisting in numerous charities, organizations, and noble causes. Each of you will receive your NHS membership card and pin at graduation rehearsal in June. I would especially like to thank this year's officers, the leadership of NHS. You have been a privilege to work with. Dedicated and creative and productive, you embraced your leadership roles and accomplished many great things. Your positive energy and sincere goodwill have been instrumental in our organization's success. I would like to call each of you up to receive your NHS membership card and pin. Each of your pins has the symbol of your office, which I hope you will wear on your graduation robe in June. First up, Dan Moran, our publicist. Cassidy Gross, our secretary. Alexandra Johnson, secretary. Brendan Fian, treasurer. Sarah Bach, vice president. And Mary Heath, our president. And now Reagan Kowalski will introduce our keynote speaker.
If you're lucky enough, you will come across a certain type of teacher during your years in high school. The kind of teacher that does more than just teach. Someone that views their position in this school as more than just a job. A person that cares and takes the time to build lasting bonds with students. Someone that you know is there to listen, not just because they say they are, but because they are willing to take their lunch break to sit and talk with you about whatever is on your mind. If you're lucky enough, you will come across a teacher like Mr. Gumas. I still remember a few weeks into the school year when I was having a particularly bad day. Mr. Gumas was the first person to notice and ask if everything was all right. He proceeded to spend the remainder of that period talking to me about the current things I was stressing over, which is something I'd never had a teacher do before. He gave me advice and shared difficulties he'd faced in his life to try and guide me through my own. He eased my anxiety and made me feel as though he was someone that would always care and be there to hear what I had to say. This is just one of the many examples I could give to show the extra mile Mr. Gumas goes to show his students that he is someone that cares and will be there for them, whether it is something as small as a bad grade or as big as a loss in your family. Mr. Gumas doesn't treat his students as though we are below him because we are younger. He treats us with respect and talks to us like adults. He is real and honest with us and teaches more than just facts and dates. He teaches lessons about kindness and respect, the type of things that we will remember and use when we move on from high school. And Mr. Gumas does this all with a smile. He truly enjoys what he does, and it is apparent to anyone that sees his beaming smile and constant hellos to everyone in the hallway, whether he's had you as a student or not. Mr. Gumas is the kind of person I aspire to be, regardless of what career I go into. A kind and compassionate person that puts others before themselves and always lets people know that he's there for them. My classmates and I are all extremely lucky to have such a good soul in our school, and I am so grateful that I was able to have him as my teacher. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Gumas as our keynote speaker.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, students, teachers, and administrators. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming this evening so that we can all recognize and celebrate the wonderful achievements that our inductees have accomplished. I'm honored to be here speaking to all of you and to tell you how very proud I am of every student being honored this evening. Today's a very special day for all of us. It's twice as special for me because today's my birthday. My seniors know that it's not true because the first thing I teach them is my birthday is October 6th. But I'm very lucky I get a lot of cakes and nice things. It's really interesting. The reason why I say it's my birthday today is because 10 years ago today I received a kidney from a good friend of mine. I had a kidney transplant. So I'm pretty lucky to be here today talking to you. And ever since then, life has just been wonderful. Every day is wonderful. It's really a pleasure to be here. You know, and one of the main reasons why it's wonderful is that I get to see my son graduate, like these seniors up here, and go off to college this August. So Miss Gosh, like I mentioned, Mikey grew up. He's not a little kid anymore that Miss Gosh used to play with, but she was a teacher years here at the school. So next September, if I'm walking around with a glum face, you'll understand because my son went off to school. But I think it's going to be okay. And the reason being it's going to be okay because I get to come here every day. And for me, it's a blessing to get to come here every day because I get to spend time with the best students and the best young people in the world. And I say that with all my heart. September will be my 31st year of teaching, 31 years in this business. And I feel like a new teacher. And a lot of it's because of the enthusiasm, the encouragement I get from the students here. So I thank you for that. And it's really, really a pleasure and an honor to be here talking to you tonight. You all have made good choices in your life. Choices in the courses you chose, choices in the time you devoted to your studies, choices in the extracurricular activities you selected, and the choice to be good citizens in our school and community. I know at times how difficult it can be. Many of you have often come to me just to talk about the stresses you face. Some of you worry so much about things like will you get grades to get to the particular school that you want, or will you be able to keep up with your workload because you're going to take 4 APs, play 3 sports, are in 4 clubs, babysit, sing in the church choir, and walk the little old lady's dog down the street. It's a fact. So now I'm going to stand up here. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but I will remind you of some things to think about. So, life lessons by Gumas. Number 1. For you juniors, enjoy your senior year. Do your work as you always do. And get involved. Go to school events. Support your friends and fellow students. Your senior year only comes once. Make every day wonderful. Parents, trust me. They will get their college essays done and their Naviance material will be out on time. We will make sure of that. Number 2. Parents, I think you're going to love this one. Put the phone down. Seriously. Look people in the eye. Talk to them. Relish that wonderful communication opportunity that you have called talking. And if you want to say something to somebody, tell them. Look them in the eye and tell them. Tell them how you feel. Say what you want to say. It's very, very important. Trust me on that. Put the phone down. Number 3, learn to make your own decisions. Don't be easily swayed with everything you hear. With the availability of information at such a fast pace, it often becomes impossible to validate what is true or not. I often wonder if people really know what they are protesting about or if they truly believe in the cause that they follow, only because it's on social media. I will never tell you to sit it out, but I will tell you to be honest with yourself and to seek the truth the best that you can. Don't just follow the crowd because it's on Snapchat or everyone else is doing it. Know and truly believe in the causes you choose to follow. Respect others' views, even if they are not what you believe. Learn to always respect one another. Number 4, be passionate with everything you do. Learn as much as you can. Don't be afraid to try something new or different. Don't worry about how you look to others. You'll waste so much of your life on things that really aren't important. Laugh at yourself. I've become a pro at that, believe me. Always believe in yourself and remember, if things don't work out, as it will happen in your life, don't find fault. Learn from it. Fall back, regroup, then get up and keep moving forward. Never let disappointment define you. Always remember there are many paths to the same place. Last, number 5, spend time with your family as much as you can. Parents, I want to congratulate you for the dedication and commitment you made for your kids. the sacrifices you made, the love and guidance you showed your children, the good choices you made, which led to this evening. This night is as much celebration for you as well for your children. So, my little darlings, spend time with your family. It's important. Come September, you will be the senior class of Brewster High School, the class of 2018. How cool is that? You guys are going to be seniors. Congratulations to you. I think it's wonderful. Set a good example from day one. You will be the leaders, the ones that everyone look up to. Get used to it. Throughout your lives, you will most likely take on this role. Don't be afraid. You will all be fine. Trust in yourselves. Be confident and fair. Be understanding and kind. Be part of something good and leave something good behind. Every day is a gift, so make the most of it. You will make mistakes. People will talk. But don't allow that to interfere with your dreams and your goals. Your commitment to make this world a better one for all. For you, your family, your friends, and for the future. I would like to thank you all once again for this honor and privilege to share this evening with you. I wish you all the best of luck and many wonderful days ahead. Thank you.
When I think of Mrs. Castles, 3 words come to mind: wit, enthusiasm, and passion. As I and any of her students here today can attest, she is a remarkable woman. I have had the absolute privilege of having her as a teacher for the past 3 years of my life, and I can say without hesitation that she has made me the young woman I am today. She is kind, she is driven, and she is hilarious. Every day, no matter how close to the weekend or a school break, I walk into her class with a smile on my face, watching her wipe down the desks with her Lysol wipes, conjugating verbs on the board, or just greeting each of her students as they walk in, which she does every day without fail. Whether she is telling us a funny story about her weekend, complaining with us about shoveling on snow days, or just being herself, she makes every day in Brewster High School brighter for every student that she touches. Before Ms. Rassick became the advisor of the National Honor Society, Mrs. Castles held that position for years. So it is about time we induct her into the organization she has left such an impact on. This is why tonight we will be honoring Mrs. Melanie Castles as an honorary inductee into the National Honor Society. I now introduce my classmate, Georgia Borchard.
Mr. Ciavera is my environmental science teacher, and just like so many teachers at Brewster, he's great at his job. What makes him stand out from the rest, though, is his personal investment into the class. We aren't just learning how a nuclear reactor works. We're learning why it works, where that energy goes, how it affects us. We learn its effects on the surrounding environment, and then we go even further as to discuss a historical example. And all this learning happens in just one of his many witty and hilarious stories. 1/3 of our class is learning essential material for the exam. The other 2/3 is devoted to learning why we should care. And having Mr. C for myself, I've been convinced. There have been many days where I stay after class with him just to further discuss DBT, or the effects of population growth, or camping trips. He's a man with so much knowledge, yes, but also insurmountable experience. I'm sad to say Mr. C is moving on after this year, but part of me is so happy I got to spend his last year in his class. It's my honor to present my teacher, my friend, Mr. Ciavera, as an honorary inductee this year. Next, I'd like to reintroduce Daniel Moran.
Good evening again, everyone. As you can see, I'm back up on the podium for more. I think that oftentimes we as students look to our instructors as being larger-than-life figures, utterly untouchable, perfect. In fact, I wasn't even entirely convinced that they were human until very recently. I thought they were robots or lizards or some such. We locked them in the teacher lounge at night so that they could recharge Sundays, whatever it might be, I don't know. They're just so mysterious. But then, every once in a while, you find one that is just the exact opposite. And it gives me great joy to confirm for you all that Mrs. Senora Laval is not in the least reptilian. In room 110 of Brewster High School, an infinite wealth of knowledge and of compassion teaches Spanish. I had the ultimate fortune of taking one of her classes in my junior year, and though I still cannot wrap my mind around the difference between the imperfect and preterite tenses, I can at least recognize how much better I am for having tried. Every single day in that class presented a new lesson in being human. I would go into her class expecting a droning lecture on vocabulary, and I'd come out with a new perspective on perseverance because, she could see how, tired we were or whatever it might be, and she kept teaching regardless. We all kept paying attention regardless. I would go into her class expecting a GPA-shattering quiz, and I would come out having learned that teachers weren't out to get us and wanted to see us succeed. I'd also learned that my GPA could take a whole lot. I would go into her class on a crummy day, expecting to be utterly miserable, and I'd walk out with a smile on my face and a restored faith in the ability of humans to be empathetic. So thank you, Senora. Thank you for being an incredible influence on your students. Thank you for the work you do as the advisor for Salty Hands, which has become an ubiquitous presence in the context of Brewster High School under your direction. Thank you for your understanding, for your advice, and thank you for letting me play with your smartboard. It's pretty cool. Oh, and thank you for at least trying to teach me some tense. It's no wonder that so many of your past students continue to visit you in their time as upperclassmen and during visits from college. I'd wager that I've spent more time in your classroom this year than your enrolled students, and I'm certainly not the only one. I can't even begin to imagine where I will be without your guidance in the years to come, so make sure you check your email. Without further ado, there is nobody in this room tonight that I'd be more pleased to induct into the National Honor Society than Mrs. Senora Laval. I would now like to introduce my classmate, Amber Krish.
Many of us have experienced tragedy, misunderstanding, or lack of connection in our lives. We scramble to find someone to trust, someone who gets us, someone who will put their utmost attention on every word we say. We need her to nudge us in the right direction and validate our feelings. We need her to guide us with her questions and ideas. Her leadership provides us with a map that plots both our individual journeys and our communal strive for unity and success. She is the epitome of the kind of human we all strive to be. Her heart is her greatest asset. Her genuine sincerity is a reflection of her moral uprightness. The quiet hero I'm describing today seems like the protagonist of a novel, a character dedicated to doing good, and a key element to our school's story. Miss McLeod is humanity's medicine. There's no doubt her efforts have advanced our community in ways that prove she really is the glue of Brewster High School. Miss McLeod is known by all to be the kindest, most compassionate person, not just in school but in our lives. She shows no anger, resentment, or prejudice to anyone. She's inclusive, reliable, and trustworthy. Most outstanding of her qualities is her effortless ability to offer solutions that are honest, objective, and divergently astute. She has kaleidoscope eyes, which means she naturally sees from multiple perspectives and has a keen sense of social awareness. Ms. McLeod is highly involved in her community and has an important role in her service learning, sociology, AP US history, and global classes, in addition to her outstanding guidance in the Democratic Congress and Brewster Students Against Cancer. She has helped organize events such as the Carnival for a Cause and the Day of Service, and she is a leader as the Social Studies Department liaison. She's an asset to the Brewster community, a passionate initiator, constructive speaker, and a good Samaritan. Ms. McLeod has been with us for 17 years, and each year it is a pleasure to have her in our school. To conclude, I asked students and faculty how they would describe Ms. McLeod in one word, just to really prove the positive effect and culminated reputation she's established at BHS. Here are some of the responses. An angel, generous, precious, selfless, amicable, humble, dedicated, invested, innovative, inspirational, irreplaceable, sensitive, and I quote, Jesus. Thank you, Ms. McLeod, for everything you've done to make our lives better. Your good deeds have and will never go unnoticed. We are so honored to induct you into the National Honor Society. I would now like to introduce my classmate, Julia Borsari.
There are many individuals in the school that are somewhat behind the scenes, as I'd like to call it. These individuals aren't given enough credit for every little action they do for Brewster High School every single day. For those of you who don't know Mr. Moriarty, he is one of those individuals I'm talking about. Although he isn't the one teaching me calc problems or how to write an essay, his role here is extremely valuable. Mr. Moriarty is a custodian here who I've been lucky enough to get to know very well over the past 4 years. He is the first one in the building and the last one out. He's even here late on weekends to ensure our school is ready for the next week. He spends hours each day cleaning up after us, making sure buildings are secure, and a lot more, all without complaint. And for those of you who are athletes, he's the one setting up the gym and making sure the fields are ready for game time. However, aside from all that, he's always there in the morning, greeting everyone with a big smile, asking them how their weekend was, and telling them to have a great rest of the day. Often people don't realize, but he is one of the most approachable staff members in the building. He's friendly and always willing to help out anybody with anything they need. These are the things that go unseen daily and are taken for granted. But after all, if I tried to imagine our school without someone like him, I couldn't. Although at times it may not seem like it, but on behalf of everyone here at BHS, we are grateful for everything you do to make this school environment such a great place to be. Now, my classmate, Carrie Lyons.
Hello everyone. I would like to thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate this year's inductees. My name is Carrie Lyons, and this evening I would like to speak about our invited guests of this year's NHS Induction Ceremony. The students celebrated tonight have displayed outstanding academic accomplishments and demonstrated exemplary character in their many hours of service to our community. They have displayed a vigorous work ethic and possess unwavering empathy. This unparalleled character mirrors the qualities and values of the ones they surround themselves with every day: their teachers, friends, neighbors, coaches, and family. All of you have deeply impacted every student here today. Your commitment to our success and well-being cannot go unrecognized, as you have helped guide us every step in our lives. Your actions and considerable effort have resonated so deeply with all of us. You are our mentors, our role models, and our heroes. We are so grateful for your commitment to us, as you have displayed such a vital role in our lives. We wouldn't be where we are today if not for your dedication and support. I would like to ask all the invited guests to please stand to be formally recognized for all that you have done for us, and so that we may give you a well-deserved and great round of applause. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Heidi Sunan, who will present the NHS Registry Book.
This registry book is the record of all NHS members and honorary inductees since the year 2000. Our president, Mary Heath, will begin the induction of our new members.
Isabella Ayaya. I went a little too fast, sorry. I also ask if you hold your applause till the end. I'm sorry. William Banks. Stephanie Boudreau. Brianna Bray. Brendan Brooks. Michael Buonadonna. Teresa Carlin. Angelo Casella. Danielle Castellano. Noelle Castro. Michael Charbonneau. Francesca Chiaffi. Aaron Clark. Jamie Coughlin. Sarah Comer. Manny Costales. Grace Coughlin. Samantha Curley. Victor Diaz. Nicholas DiDio. David Domino. Aiden Elsroth. Fayantola Falana. Paul Farrell. Leah Fry. Benjamin Farouk. Caitlin Gaglio. Mary Delgado. Autumn Gerard. Joseph Greco. Cecilia Gaida. Dylan Gessler. Grace Harrison. Connor Henderson. Jacqueline Higgins. Eric Jacobson. Olivia Jaspers. Elise Jordan. Karen Kimball. Erin Kirkpatrick. Ryan Lenahan. Sophie Lester. Julie Lewis. Maxwell Likens. Diana Limatone. Louis Martin. Colin Matthews. Aiden McCardle. Christopher McCarthy. Brian McKee. Carly Mengler. Kayanne Monty. Fernando Mora. Keegan O'Connor. Ariana Ostrowich. Matthew Panagrossi. Grace Pastori. Tara Regan. Taylor Riccardi. Nicole Rivera. Sophia Rivera. Jason Roy. Gabriela Rueda. Matthew Rutledge. Bridget Senak. Leah Santalis. Samantha Salmo. Nina Schilling. Kevin Stefanik. Ian Straley. Samuel Tashahone. Julie Tramontana. Nathan Whitney. Ying Zhang.
Good evening. Inductees, could you please raise your right hand? Please repeat after me. I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing. To endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader. To give of myself freely in service to others. And to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character. And in doing so, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. Would you please give them a round of applause? Inductees, you may extinguish your candles and please return to your seats. This is the toughest part of the program. Good evening again, students, families, teachers, and administrators, and our newly inducted members of the National Honor Society. First and foremost, congratulations to the students who were inducted, the 77 students who were inducted into the National Honor Society. This is an achievement that symbolizes the many hours spent studying, serving your community within and outside of the school, and being an athlete and involved in extracurricular activities. You had to work hard to earn a seat in this distinguished group, and now you've obtained a designation that is yours for the rest of your life. Your perseverance has served you well. You join the ranks of dozens over the years who have obtained this recognition, which includes authors, scientists, politicians, artists, athletes, and innovators, and some notables, such as President Gerald Ford, Meryl Streep, the actor, Gloria Estefan, the musician, and Jim Henson, creator of the Muppets. You are in good company among this impressive and eclectic group. So how should you be spending your time from this point forward as a student here in Brewster High School? As you know, our district adopted a plan that describes our aspirations for you, which is called the Strategic Coherence Plan. This plan, which has everything to do about you and do with you, it identifies the academic and the social and emotional skills that you will need to succeed in life, future learning, and work. They include critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, perseverance, resilience, adaptability, flexibility, and civic and ethical responsibility. These skills are being discussed in some shape, form, or fashion in schools and districts all over the country and the world. Businesses and colleges are also discussing the role that these skills play in a person's success in college and the work world. As a way to understand what changes are occurring that make these skills a necessity for all students, the book, Most Likely to Succeed, Preparing Our Kids for the Innovation Era by Tony Wagner and Ted Dentersmith, was widely read across the district. I encourage students and adults alike to read it. As a matter of fact, Ms. Hoyler, Ms. Gosh, and I convened a study group with students to discuss the book and enlist their thinking about what they view to be the changes that are necessary to transform the current educational landscape. Reading this text about the extent to which the world has changed and the expectations for survival and prosperity gives us a context for identifying how we should be preparing you during your time in the district so that you fully embrace life, work, and future learning. One of a number of important statements made by these authors is this: the purpose of education is to engage students with their passions and growing sense of purpose, teach them critical skills needed for career and citizenship, and inspire them to do their very best to make the world better. This is a noble expression of our aspirations for you and what we want for all students. Changes are underway, and it will take the concerted efforts of all of the professionals in the district. We will also need your help and that of our parents in making this vision of your future come to fruition. You are the first generation earning the label as Generation Z that has only known the internet. You are the true digital natives. You have only streamed music, for example. And if you do choose to read the book most likely to succeed, it will likely be the digital version. An 8-track tape is unrecognizable to you. So you're looking at me strangely, so I know it's unrecognizable. You have never experienced the concept of sharing a phone line with others, known as a party line. Don't be tricked by party, which required that you wait courteously for others to end their conversation without being rude or being tempted to eavesdrop. You didn't grow up, like some of us, only playing Michael Jackson on a vinyl and listening to him on the radio, when radio was the way that my generation, the boomers, listened to music. You function so differently from any other generation, and in my opinion, have so much potential to do great things. You are the generation who will be defined not by what you know, but what you can do with what you know. According to employers, the cross-cutting skills of written and oral communication, teamwork, ethical decision-making, critical thinking, and the ability to apply knowledge in real-world settings are more important to an individual's success in the world of work than their undergraduate major. We want you to be the generation that changes the world through your creativity, innovative spirit, and problem solving. We need you to address the environmental challenges brought on by climate change and pollution. We need you to find new and environmentally friendly forms of energy. We need you to find ways to eradicate poor nutrition and hunger among children and families in this country and across the world. We need you to find ways to make clean drinking water easily accessible to all. We need you, this generation, to find cures for some of the diseases that have haunted us for generations. Most of all, we need you to show us what it means to be compassionate, kind, honest, courageous, and caring. These attributes will always be what reminds us that our common good will be the impetus for us to transcend those things that challenge our humanity. So students, please remember the simple advice from Walt Disney. All of our dreams will come true if you have the courage to pursue them. We're proud of you, and congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Bach, and I'm the Vice President of the National Honor Society. Since I'm the last one to speak tonight, and therefore the one from keeping you from leaving, I'll try to keep this short and sweet so we can all get out of here. Over the next year, you guys will become the ones that teachers look to for extra help for their students, the ones to come support the community, and the ones to set an example for the younger classes. By being an NHS inductee, you are put into a position to change the school and our community first. So make that change one for the better. Your requirements to be a member in good standing are to complete 10 hours of tutoring and 20 hours of community service, which will be quite easy if you are the dedicated individuals we think you are. So take advantage of every opportunity that is presented and make the most of your senior year. If there's a piece of advice that I would like to give you, besides the fact that your senior year flies by, so enjoy it, would be to make connections. Not only with the people alongside you, but with the teachers that strive to make you better people, and the younger classes that look up to you. I congratulate our senior membership on a successful year of service, and I congratulate our inductees on starting down the path towards excellence in character, leadership, knowledge, scholarship, and service. Lastly, the senior membership and its officers would like to give a huge thank you to our advisor, Ms. Rassick. She has done an incredible amount of work for us this year, and I don't know where we'd be without her, so we'd like to present her with something. Mary's getting it. I hope everyone has a safe ride home and a successful senior year next year. Thank you.